This discussion explores a seemingly simple esports viewership chart, reinterpreting it not as mere data, but as a sacred text for our digital age. It posits that hours watched function as a form of modern worship, where our collective attention anoints a new pantheon of digital gods, from populous titans like Mobile Legends to ancient idols like chess being absorbed into the new faith. Ultimately, it suggests we are all participating in a grand, invisible ritual that reallocates our consciousness from the physical world to these curated digital arenas. So if our collective gaze is truly the force creating these new deities, what are the subtle, almost invisible elements within their design that make some so much more successful at commanding our devotion than others?
Have you ever paused to wonder about the fate of a god? Not in some big dramatic fall, but in the quiet moments, right before it's utterly forgotten. I mean, not the violent overthrow, no pantheon torn down, something quieter.
Slow fade.
Exactly, the slow, quiet fading. A long twilight where, the temples might still stand, but the footsteps, they just get fewer and fewer.
Yeah.
Where does that echo go? The echo of a billion prayers when the very last voice just stops, leaving maybe just a whisper in an empty hall.
That's a really profound thought, almost melancholic, isn't it?
It is.
And if you look around, really look at our modern world, you can kind of see those echoes now.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. But they're being replaced, right? Not by new chants or rituals in the old sense, but by something else.
The screens.
The hum of our screams, yeah.
Yeah.
The constant glow from all our devices. It feels like our collective attention, that really powerful, finite thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely shifted.
Away from the tangible altars.
Towards something new, yeah. Something intangible maybe, but undeniably powerful.
Absolutely. And that really brings us right to the core, the heart of this deep dive today. We're going to be looking closely at a data chart, specifically one called Most Watched EWC 2025 Games.
Okay.
But the source material we're digging into, it's fascinating. Excerpts from a text called The Pantheon of Attention, Esports as a New Religion. And it suggests this chart. It's not just dry statistics.
What is it?
It frames it as something much bigger, a prophecy even, or maybe a sacred text, mapping not just hours watched, but, mapping devotion.
Devotion, wow.
Yeah. The really radical idea here, the one we need to unpack, is that we, all of us, maybe without even realizing it, we're actively creating new gods, new kinds of existence, simply by where we put our attention.
Just by watching.
Just by watching. We pour our focus, our minutes, our hours into these, shiny digital worlds, and the source argues that in doing that, we literally give them life.
Okay, that is a crucial distinction, isn't it? Because we usually just see hours watched as, a consumption metric.
Yeah.
How popular something is.
Right.
But the source reframes it, not just a stat, but a cartography of devotion, like a map.
A map of where our energy is going, our focus.
Exactly. They calls it a census of a billion flickering altars, which is such a powerful image. Like every phone, every monitor, it's a little shrine.
A personal shrine in a dark room.
Yeah. But the really striking part, maybe even a bit unsettling, is what it calls the terrifying unspoken thesis.
Okay.
It basically screams from the data, apparently, that in this new digital pantheon, existence isn't just a given. It's not granted by some creator figure.
So how does it happen?
It's earned, moment by moment, second by second. And the currency, it's our collective attention.
Wow.
So to be unwatched in this new reality, it's not just being unpopular.
It's ceasing to exist.
Pretty much, literally, it's like a digital death, a kind of Darwinian digital mortality.
Okay, right. Let's really unpack that, because our mission here in this deep dive, it isn't just about looking at the numbers on the chart and saying, oh, that's big.
No, it goes deeper.
We're diving into these excerpts using this most watched EWC 2025 Games chart as our guidepost, our sacred text, maybe. And we really want to understand the profound shift this data shows, the kind of cultural tectonic plates moving under us.
And what it means for the listener. Right?
Exactly. What it means for you. How are you, just by choosing what to watch, what to focus on, what to give your time to, how are you actually participating in creating these new digital realities? How are you, maybe without knowing it, appointing these digital gods.
Precisely. We're going way beyond just stats today. This isn't just about, the latest trends in entertainment.
Yeah.
It feels much more fundamental, like a reorientation of human focus, what we value, what we engage with, what we literally bring into being just by looking at it together.
It's about the fabric of our digital lives.
Yeah. Our emerging digital existence.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. The pantheon emerges. Attention as the new divinity.
It's so easy, isn't it, to think, oh, I'm just choosing something to watch, passing the time, unwinding.
Sure. Seems harmless enough.
But this source argues pretty strongly that it's more than that. That quiet hum from the computer, the glow on your face, the fact that millions are focused on the same thing. The source says it's all basically a ritual, not just passive viewing. It's active, ceremonial almost, binding us together even though we're apart.
And that's where the language gets really interesting, isn't it? Turning numbers into something, well, almost sacred.
Like 50.32 million hours.
Yeah, exactly. That number isn't just presented as a dry statistic you'd forget instantly.
Right.
It's described as hymns sung in a new language.
Yeah.
Which is, wow, that's an evocative metaphor.
It really is.
It suggests that every minute you watch, every click, every bit of attention, it's not just feeding some algorithm.
Yeah.
It's actively contributing to the existence of these digital worlds.
Yeah.
And the gods within them.
So to simplify it, maybe every time you tune into a stream, watch a highlight. It's like casting a vote.
Yeah, casting a vote for that game, that world. Or maybe even, like the source implies, like letting an incense stick in its digital temple.
Your attention is the fuel.
It's the vital fuel, yeah. It sustains these new divinities, gives them shape in our collective mind.
Which brings us right back to that really chilling idea, that existential implication.
The unwatched is to cease to be a part.
Yeah. Existence is not granted by a creator, but is earned second by second through the currency of our collective attention. It feels like a real threat hanging over these digital things, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of the fundamental law of this digital economy, isn't it? If attention is the lifeblood, the animating force,
then taking it away is death.
a slow death, yeah. Not just losing popularity, it's like suffocating. And this doesn't just apply to games, right?
No, you mean like creators, influencers.
Anyone. Anything digital vying for our incredibly limited, incredibly valuable focus. So what happens if a game or a show or an artist just fails to capture that attention or stops capturing it?
They fade away. Servers go dark. Communities drift apart.
They effectively cease to exist in the public mind. Their relevance just evaporates. And this creates, well, a constant brutal battle for our gaze.
Everything is designed to hook us.
Every pixel, every sound, every story beat, it's not just about entertaining you anymore. It's about capturing and holding you because their digital immortality literally depends on it. At the apex, the rise of the populist deity.
Okay, so looking at this cartography of devotion, this chart, this is where it gets really interesting, where the sheer scale of this new pantheon just hits you.
Right at the top.
Right at the top. One name just dominates. Its bar of consecrated hours. It stretches so far it almost breaks the chart. Mobile Legends, bang, bang.
50.32 million hours watched.
50.32 million. It's just a massive number.
Almost impossible to really feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the source does a great job helping us grasp it. It translated into more than 5.5 millennia of continuous human existence.
5.5 millennia.
Yeah. Think about that. One single human lifespan, starting way back with the first Sumerian cities, the dawn of civilization, all the way to right now.
Okay.
All of that time, every second, poured into watching this one digital arena. And this was just during a single tournament.
That's unbelievable.
It's not just a popular game at that point. The source calls it a cultural singularity.
This singularity, like a black hole for attention.
Exactly. Where a truly immense amount of human focus just converges. Its pull is enormous.
And the nature of its dominance is key too, right? How it got there. The source calls it a god born of the hand.
Meaning mobile devices.
Yeah, not the traditional hearth of the PC.
Right.
It highlights how accessible it is, how everywhere it is.
It's a brilliant description. Because think about its temple. What is it?
Your phone.
It's the ubiquitous glass rectangle in our pocket.
Right.
Totally different from the old days.
Big desktop setup.
Yeah, the old gods, the established games. They often need serious hardware, a dedicated space. You need to know what you're doing just to get started.
Invest.
But Mobile Legends, its gospel spreads through Wi-Fi and cellular data. It's a faith, basically, that's instantly available to billions.
Lowers the barrier to entry massively.
Hugely. It welcomes a much broader crowd than the old guards of esports ever could. It meets people right where they are on their most personal device.
Yeah.
Its reach is just different.
And the games it's overshadowing, I mean, they're huge themselves. League of Legends, 18.11 million hours. Dota 2, 15.2 million. Counter-Strike, 14.41 million. These are not small fries.
Not at all. They're the titans, the Zeus, the Odin, the Ra, the digital age, like the source says. Each one has massive, dedicated followings, deep histories.
Legends.
Exactly. Their histories are carved into the very bedrock of esports. They've defined competitive gaming for what, a decade? More.
Really.
Their names command respect. Their rituals are complex and demanding. You need skill, time, strategy.
It often means that pilgrimage to the altar of the desktop, serious commitment.
Right. Specialized gear, fast internet, hours of practice. It creates almost a priestly class of followers, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
These are the established figures, tradition, legacy. But Mobile Legends, its rise is framed as something totally different.
Like a disruption.
More than that, a schism, a reformation,
Yeah.
a fundamental break. It suggests really compellingly that the future of belief doesn't belong to the arcane and the cloistered, but to the immediate, the accessible, the viral.
Wow.
And that huge growth number, 72.6% over last year. That's not just popularity, it's the sound of a tectonic plate shifting.
A digital earthquake.
Yeah, the digital equivalent of the mystery cults of ancient Rome overwhelming the state religion. Something more personal, more immediate, spreading like wildfire through the masses and just taking over, redefining what it means to be a digital god. The enduring power and quiet question of the old gods.
So, okay, with this massive shift happening, what does it actually mean for those older gods? Those established worlds like League, Dota, CS.
Well, they're definitely not dying out.
No, the numbers are still growing. Big green numbers there too. Plus 44.8% for League, plus 42.2% for Dota 2. That shows real power, right? Staying power.
Absolutely. Their temples aren't ruins. The altars are still busy. Their influence is still huge. However, as the source puts it, they're no longer the only power in the heavens. And it introduces this great idea, legacy as a form of gravity.
Legacy as gravity, meaning?
Meaning it holds them in place, keeps them relevant, commands respect. But while they're held by that gravity, the newcomers, like Mobile Legends, they're unburdened by tradition. They can just ascend on thermals of pure novelty.
Riding the wave of accessibility and viral spread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which raises a really interesting question for you, the listener, to think about.
Okay.
Are these huge, established games,
Yeah.
with all their history, their complexity, are they becoming, in a way, too heavy to really soar in this new, fast-moving digital atmosphere?
They're monuments.
Magnificent monuments, yeah. Impressive, historic. But maybe the crowd, as the source hints, is flocking to the carnival instead. The brighter, louder, easier to access show.
What happens to the cathedral when everyone prefers the street festival?
That's the quiet question hanging over them,
Yeah.
I think. The ritual of spectatorship. Why we watch.
Let's dig into this watching more. That 50.32 million hours for Mobile Legends. It wasn't people playing.
Right. Crucial point. It was pure spectatorship.
Which is central to this whole idea of attention as devotion, as life force.
Yeah.
So why do we watch? What's the draw of just observing?
It's a really critical question. And the source offers a fascinating answer. It says the watcher is not passive. Not at all.
Okay.
Their gaze is an active force, like a stream of energy. It feeds the spectacle, it validates it, it gives it meaning.
So every view is like,
Each view is a vote. Each hour watched is a prayer. That's how the source puts it. Think about it historically, like the Roman Colosseum.
okay, the crowd's there.
They weren't just there for the violence, right? They were there to participate in a civic ritual, to feel the power of the empire right there in the arena, to be part of something big.
I see.
The digital arena, it serves a really similar function, even though the crowd is, well, spectral, spread out everywhere, connected by the internet.
We gather through screens?
To reaffirm the values of that digital world, yeah. Strategy, speed, teamwork, skill, whatever it is. And to participate in the story, the wins, the losses, the heroes emerging. We're witnesses to a new mythology being written.
And there's maybe a deeper layer too, more personal. Like when we watch these amazing players, these masters, we're kind of touching perfection vicariously.
Absolutely. That's beautifully put. Yeah. We see, as the source says, a vision of human potential refined and honed for a specific unforgiving environment.
Right.
And it brings in this idea of gnosis. You know, traditionally that means seeking hidden knowledge mastery.
Yeah.
But here the source suggests we absorb it through observation rather than practice. We might never have those reflexes, that strategic mind.
But by watching.
By watching, by immersing ourselves, we become part of their aura. We start to understand it, feel it, anticipate it, even if we can't do it. We're not just fans, we're acolytes, drawn to this digital excellence.
Which makes you think, okay, for you listening, what is it that keeps you watching? What kind of mastery pulls you in? Is it the perfect play, the clever strategy, or just the sheer thrill of seeing human limits pushed?
It's a good question to ask yourself, definitely. The cost of devotion, reallocating our collective attention.
Okay, but we need to really unpack this too. There's a cost, isn't there? A hidden cost to this new kind of worship, this massive shift in our attention.
Because attention isn't infinite.
Exactly. It doesn't just appear. Every minute we give to one thing, it's taken from something else.
That's the absolute heart of it. And the source is really blunt about where these millions, billions of hours are coming from, where they're being reallocated from.
Where?
It lists things like conversations, reading, quiet contemplation, even boredom, and just engaging with the, quote, messy, uncurated, and often disappointing physical world.
Wow, that's direct.
It frames it as a fundamental trade.
Yeah.
The analog for the digital, the real for the hyper-real. And the chart shows undeniably that we're accepting this offer on a civilizational scale.
It's not just individual choices anymore.
No, it's a huge collective shift in how humanity spends its most precious, non-renewable resource, our focused time and attention.
And there's a warning in there too, isn't there? A kind of foreboding undercurrent.
Yeah.
As we pour more and more of ourselves, our consciousness, into these slick, self-contained digital worlds, what happens to the actual physical world we still have to live in? The one where you can't just hit reset after a bad match.
The source uses this really powerful kind of poetic image. It says, we are turning away from the window to better see the screen.
And we may not notice what is happening outside until the screen is all that is left.
Chilling, isn't it? It's a stark warning about the potential societal costs. Which leads to another big question for you to consider. Where is your attention really going? Day to day? How much time looking through the window versus at the screen? And what are the unseen consequences of that balance or imbalance? For you, for your relationships, for the shared world outside, the maelstrom of the middle, new gods and fracturing faiths.
So we've talked about the titans at the top, but the middle of this list, it looks completely different. Less like an ordered hierarchy, more like chaos.
A maelstrom of chaotic emergent energy, as the source puts it. Yeah. This is where new gods are being forged, not inheriting thrones, but bursting into existence, fueled by sudden explosive popularity.
It's not just about the total hours here, is it? It's the growth.
Exactly. That's the real story in the middle, not the absolute numbers, which are still big, but those violent green surges of the growth percentages. These are huge leaps.
Yeah.
This is where the pantheon is most volatile, most unpredictable, where new deities can just rocket upwards, seemingly out of nowhere, capturing the moment.
It's like watching new stars form almost, seeing where the collective attention is suddenly rushing.
It shows just how dynamic this whole landscape is.
Okay, look at Rainbow Six. Tactical, precise, almost claustrophobic sometimes. Its viewership didn't just creep up. The source says it detonated, expanded by 308.0%.
308%. That's not growth, that's an explosion. A conversion event, the source calls it. Like a mass flocking to a new belief system.
So what did it tap into? Why that game?
Well, the source speculates. Maybe it's tapping into a yearning for order and deliberation in a world full of chaotic shooters.
Interesting.
It's tough, demands teamwork, planning. It can offer a kind of secular monasticism, a hard path, but rewarding through practice.
Enlightenment through rigor.
Something like that. Its success whispers that there is a deep hunger not just for spectacle, but for intricacy, for something that rewards careful thought and coordination, not just reflexes. It really stands out.
And then further down, you've got teamfight tactics up 213.8%. And Street Fighter up 130.0%. Again, huge jumps, but for totally different experiences.
Yeah, and they show different facets of this energy. Teamfight tactics, like high-speed, fantastical chess, strategic, building armies, watching them fight automatically.
Foresight, adaptation.
Right. And Street Fighter, that's the primal dance of one-on-one combat. Pure, visceral competition. As old as humanity, really, just in a digital form.
So what does their rise tell us?
It suggests a fracturing of the audience. The digital congregation isn't one big mass. It's splitting into smaller, more fluent sects, each looking for its own specific kind of digital transcendence.
Different flavors of engagement.
Exactly. The big games at the top have the huge numbers, but the source argues that the most passionate, the most devoted followers, often they're right here in the middle, in these cults of the ascendant.
They're the ones really shaping the future trends.
They're revealing this rich tapestry of powerful niche interests.
Yeah.
The ancient king in the Chrome Temple, the paradox of chess.
And it's right here in this chaotic middle ground among all the explosions of novelty that we find maybe the strangest and perhaps most significant entry on the whole list. Chess. Marked with new W, which is, well, it's just funny, isn't it? For a game that's, 1,500 years old?
It's both comical and profound, yeah. The source describes its arrival perfectly, like an ancient stone-carved idol being placed in a gleaming chrome temple.
It doesn't belong.
It doesn't belong, and yet there it is, right on the list. Its presence just forces you to ask some big questions about this new pantheon. What it wants to be, what it absorbs.
It's a jarring juxtaposition.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, is chess being elevated here, finding a whole new generation through digital platforms?
Or is it being consumed? Its thoughtful soul kind of repackaged for quick clicks and content, simplified for a culture of rapid-fire entertainment.
That's the core paradox, isn't it? Chess, the game of perfect information, slow, deliberate thought, sitting right next to worlds of manufactured chaos and twitch reflexes.
Like a ghost from a different intellectual reality, as the source puts it.
Yeah. And the source pushes further, suggesting its inclusion feels strategic, like an attempt by the new order to legitimize itself by adopting the symbols of the old.
A power move.
Almost like a conquest, like esports is saying, we now own the very idea of strategic competition.
Wow.
The ancient king has been brought to the new court, it says, not as a ruler, but as a curiosity. A trophy, maybe? A testament to the new court's all-encompassing power. It's a really fascinating symbolic moment in this whole digital shift. The high priests and the blueprint, architecting intention.
Okay, so if this chart is the sacred text and the games are the gods, who writes the text? Who arranges this whole celestial order?
Good question. The chart comes from Esports charts. The event is the Esports World Cup.
So these organizations, they're the architects, the high priests interpreting the will of the masses.
Or maybe shaping it, because their role definitely goes beyond just observing. They're not passive observers, they are curators. That's key.
Curators, meaning
The very act of making this list, deciding which games get into the World Cup, which games get the huge spotlight and investment. That's described as an act of king-making.
they're not just reporting trends, they're actively creating them, influencing where all that attention and money goes.
Absolutely. Their decisions have massive consequences, elevating some, leaving others in the dark.
And their criteria, it's not about art or spirit, is it? It's business.
It's almost purely economic, yeah. They're chasing attention because attention can be monetized. It's the ultimate currency here.
So those green growth percentages we keep seeing.
That's the language of the market. It speaks of growth, engagement, return on investment. This is where that whole religion metaphor gets chillingly literal.
How so?
Like the old faiths were often tied up with commerce and empire, right? Building huge structures, funding explorations. This new digital faith is similar. It's inextricably linked with commerce and empire. There's a huge, sophisticated secular machine behind it. The fervor of the believers, the source says, isn't just spontaneous, it's channeled by the institutions that build the cathedrals, the streaming platforms, and organize the crusades, the big tournaments.
There's a direct line from devotion to profit.
A very clear line.
It sounds like a perfectly engineered feedback loop for growing gods.
Totally. The architects promote attention flows that brings prestige and profit, which gets reinvested, creating bigger spectacles, drawing even more attention. Round and round it goes.
Growing exponentially.
But, and this is the crucial, maybe unsettling part, it is a closed system.
Closed how?
It's not necessarily interested in what's good or beautiful or true in a traditional sense. Its only real interest is what is watched.
And we're part of that system.
You, the listener, the watcher, you are absolutely implicated in this. Your viewing habits, every click, every guy, idle minute watching something. And it's all part of the data stream that creates this chart.
We're constituents in this new world.
Your choices are the ballots being cast in this endless election for digital gods.
Yeah.
Determining who rises, who falls,
Yeah.
who disappears.
That's quite a thought. We think we're in control, right? The sovereign consumer choosing freely.
But when the menu itself is designed by algorithms whose only goal is to maximize engagement, to keep you hooked.
And our brains are kind of wired to respond to that bright, loud, rewarding stimulus.
How much of the choice is really, truly ours? It's a deep question about agency in this digital age.
Yeah.
The source says we are both the congregation and the power source, the worshiper and the tithe. We're not outside looking in, we are inside the machine.
And this chart
Is one of the few moments we get to see a blueprint of the machine's inner workings. A rare glimpse into the architecture of attention itself, how our focus is being harnessed, channeled, directed.
Ouch. Wow. Okay. We have journeyed through a pretty fascinating and maybe sometimes unsettling landscape today, seeing how our collective attention, often without us even thinking about it, is forging these new digital gods and really reshaping our cultural priorities.
And it's so important to remember what this chart is. It's not just history. It's described as a prophecy for a year that is not yet passed.
Right. It's a trajectory.
It's a forecast showing the future rushing towards us in this huge wave of quantified devotion, showing us exactly where our most valuable resource, our collective focus, is heading, with chilling clarity.
And those names way down at the bottom: Crossfire, Fatal Fury, Ren Sport, tiny numbers compared to the top.
They're not necessarily failures, but in this pantheon. Yeah, the source calls them the prayers of small villages, the whispers in forgotten chapels, struggling to be heard over the roar.
Yeah.
And they bring us right back to that very first question we asked.
Will they fade away?
Some might grow, maybe climb the ranks, but others inevitably will fade. Their servers will go dark, a silent digital Ragnarok. Their world's just gone.
And they become the answer.
They become the answer to what happens when a god is forgotten. It's the brutal cycle of digital life and death playing out right in front of us.
So look at this chart one last time. Don't just see bars and game titles. Try to see the huge invisible structure of human attention, something we're all building together constantly.
But without a common plan, without a blueprint we all agreed on.
See the billions of hours of life force, mental energy being drawn from our world.
And poured almost religiously into these digital containers. It is, as the source says, a beautiful, terrible, and awe-inspiring thing.
A testament to our need to create meaning, to find worlds where rules are clear, mastery is possible.
Maybe. But there's also this threshold being crossed. The line between the game and the world, it's blurring. Not because games are getting more realistic necessarily.
But because reality is becoming more gamified.
Yeah, more quantified, more focused on attention metrics. And this chart, it's like a dispatch from the other side of that threshold.
A calm report.
A calm, orderly report on the reallocation of our collective soul.
It really leaves you feeling like you're standing, well, in a doorway, doesn't it?
Behind you is the familiar, messy, analog world. Real people, real consequences.
In front of you?
Is this glowing, perfectly ordered universe of pure information. Captivating. Designed to hold you.
The chart doesn't tell you to step through.
It doesn't need to. It just shows you, calmly, that millions, billions of others already have, and their numbers are growing year by year by percentages that feel, well, both thrilling and terrifying.
And the door, you realize, it's been open for a while now.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.